Yo, what's going on, Bulls fans? You are watching the Bulls Report by Chat Sports. My name is Patrick Seatman, and coming up on today's show, we're going to go revisit the Zach LaVine trade that went down last NBA trade deadline and tell you guys why the Bulls absolutely pulled off highway robbery, and then also talk about the Bulls-Kings game last night as somehow the Chicago Bulls are 4-0. But let's take a look at the Zach LaVine trade here first. So this was a massive three-team deal that also sent De'Aaron Fox to the San Antonio Spurs from the Sacramento Kings. But the Kings received Zach LaVine, 3 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, and the Chicago Bulls were able to acquire Zach Collins, Tre Jones, Kevin Huerter, and their own pick back from the San Antonio Spurs. And I'll say this right off the bat. You guys love to kill me in the comments section, saying, Patrick, you were wrong about Josh Giddey. You're way too critical of this guy, and you guys were right. So I will admit I was wrong on that. But also, the same people who were getting on me for that were the same people telling me I was crazy for wanting to trade Zach LaVine for the last 2 years. I was completely right on that. Watching that game yesterday and seeing just the unethical hoops that him, DeMar DeRozan play, where they're just not winning basketball players, and then seeing what this new version of the Bulls, the style of play they have, it's just all winning basketball. It's making the right reads. It's playing as a connective team and a whole unit. I was completely right on Zach LaVine, but hey, you guys were right on Josh Giddey. I should expect a couple apologies down below in the comment section because you guys love to kill me down there on these Bulls videos. But I do also just want to say thank you guys so much for 13,000 subscribers. Crossed over that number yesterday, so I do appreciate all the support. And with the Bulls starting off this season 4-0, we're going to have a lot of more Bulls content heading your way. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Going to try to get multiple videos out per week for you guys. So hit that subscribe button today. And if you guys just want to keep the good vibes going in Chicago Bulls Nation, hit that subscribe button. All right, so this trade, I think this was an absolute fleece job by the Bulls. Number one, getting your protections off that 2025 first-round pick that turned into Noah Senge. That was probably originally what I thought was the best part of this deal. But Kevin Huerter, Zach Collins have been playing great basketball for the Bulls, but more specifically Tre Jones. And I'm not trying to get a headline or get a hot take out here when I say this. Tre Jones is a better basketball player than Zach LaVine. If you said that at the barbershop, if you said that chopping it up with your friends, they would probably look at you like you are insane. But I fully believe it. He plays a more winning type of basketball compared to LaVine. Where Tre Jones, he's not trying to do too much. He's playing within himself. He's playing within the offense. He is a significantly better defender than LaVine. He picks up full court when he's asked to. He slides his feet very well, and he also just beats guys off the dribble at one of the highest clips I have seen. Like, Tre Jones has definitely been a revelation for this Bulls team. He gets guys open shots, and he's playing within the team where LaVine is just a black hole with the basketball. Now, yes, in terms of just having natural skill for the game of basketball, there's no doubt Zach LaVine has more skill. He's a 6'6" guard. He's got a 45-inch vertical. He's got a wicked good three-point shot, but he's not a winning basketball player where Tre Jones, that is him. Like, he just wants to play the game of basketball the right way. So shout out to Tre Jones. He has been absolutely fantastic this season for the Chicago Bulls. And also getting back to LaVine and DeRozan, they just don't play winning basketball. And that's why I was so frustrated with this Bulls team over the last couple of seasons because, yeah, you had a lot of talent, honestly. Like, you had even Buzelis last year in his rookie year. You still had LaVine, DeRozan, Nikola Vucevic. Like, you had good basketball players, but it didn't work collectively because LaVine and DeRozan, they're black holes when you throw them the basketball. They're all about getting their own buckets. And I don't even know if it's like a conscious effort they're making to not play winning basketball. That's just who they are as basketball players. That's their archetype. That's their style of play. And last night, as a Bulls fan, was just such a fantastic watch. Because you're watching the Sacramento Kings as they're an old version of the Chicago Bulls, where they have a big Nikola Vucevic, Domantas Sabonis, very similar archetypes of centers. Then you got LaVine, you got DeRozan, who are just, yes, LaVine got his numbers yesterday. He had 30 points. He had a couple highlight dunks, but he was still a net negative out there on the basketball court. He plays zero defense. He doesn't create it all for others. He's all about himself. And then DeMar DeRozan, I love DeRozan as a guy. I actually love his game in a vacuum, but the mid-range game is dead. It's 2025, and that's still all he can do out there. And then you're also on the opposite side. You're seeing all these young Bull stars. You're seeing Josh Giddey. You're seeing Matas Buzelis. All these guys play as a team. It was a fantastic watch, and we can give some love here, the number 14. Matas Buzelis, my guy. Absolutely fantastic yesterday. Talk about ethical hoops. Buzelis plays like he's a player from the 80s. His little pick through dribble is absolutely fantastic. He's 6'10". He's also, I mean, he looks so much more physical out there. I mean, this kid is still 20 years old, and he's starting to feel like a grown ass man on the basketball court. But 27 points, season high. He was 11 of 18 from the field. Finally got his 3-point ball to fall down. He was 2 of 12 entering this game. Buzelis was absolutely fantastic, and also just defensively, 6'10", long ass wingspan. He was locking these dudes up on the perimeter, and him in transition was great. He had a couple of highlight moves. Matas Buzelis, absolutely fantastic. And also, you guys were right. Call it like it is. I was right about Zach LaVine. You guys were right about Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey's been absolutely unreal this season. I did not think he could replicate what he did for the second half of the season, but he has replicated it, and he has been even better. You can't keep this guy in front. I mean, it's not like Giddey also has this, huge huge arsenal of moves where he's breaking guys down off the dribble. It's just a quick first step. He's a tall dude. He understands if he just beats them with that first step, he can get him on his hip, and then he's got some of the best vision in the national or in the NBA to just start spraying out the open shooters, which is why we have seen guys like, Ayo Dosunmu have a career year shooting the three-point ball. Kevin Huerter, he's ripping threes at a high level this year. So Josh Giddey, he was awesome yesterday. Only took 14 shots, had 20 points, 8 boards, 12 assists. Fantastic stuff from number 3. And then also Tre Jones, even though yesterday didn't fill up the stat sheet, 11 points, 5 assists, 1 rebound. But again, he plays within the offense. Like he understood yesterday, they're not asking me to do a whole lot. Buzelis has it going. Giddey's got it going. Kevin Huerter spraying threes off the bench. So I'll just play within the offense. Only take 6 shots, and he was 5 of 6. I love this dude. Tre Jones is actually one of my favorite basketball players I've watched wear a Bulls uniform because if I was a 2-guard in the NBA, if I was a shooter or just a wing on the outside, Tre Jones, I would love for him to be my point guard. He is truly fantastic. So shout out to Tre Jones, but mainly shout out to Matas Buzelis. And if you guys want to show him some love down below in the comment section, type those 14s down below. I think he has an outside chance of being an all-star this season. You're just seeing this kid build confidence day in, day out, game to game, quarter to quarter. He also just plays with so much energy. It is contagious out there on the basketball court. So show Matas Buzelis some love down below. And before we dive into the rest of today's show, I do want to tell you guys about today's presenting sponsor, and that is Prize Picks. Now, the hard-hitting basketball action is even better on Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5. Prize Picks is the only app that offers stacks, meaning you can pick up to the same player up to 3 times in the same lineup. Want to pick more on Josh Allen's pass yards, rush yards, and touchdowns this week in the football season? Well, now you can pick all of them in the same lineup only on Prize Picks. You guys can also follow other Prize Picks players directly on the app and copy their lineups in just one click. Whether it's a friend, celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you like, hit that follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab on Prize Picks. So download the Prize Picks app today. Plug in that promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's promo code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Massive shout out to Prize Picks for sponsoring today's show. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. Make sure to have that link for you guys in the comments section and description of today's show. All right, so I do want to give some love to Kevin Huerter off the bench. He was absolutely unreal yesterday. This guy is just a flamethrower when he is running off screens. He was 3 of 5 from downtown. He has also done a great job this season compared to last, where he understands if guys are kind of running him off the screen, where if he's got him on his back hip, he'll just kind of keep his cut going to the rim and curl it in. And he probably had 3 or 4 buckets yesterday of just being a good cutter. And honestly, this whole Bulls team, they're fantastic cutters. Josh Giddey's great. Buzelis is obviously fantastic. Tre Jones is fantastic. So I like that. I think I'm going to chalk that up to coaching from Billy Donovan. Just this team plays with such connectivity. And Kevin Huerter, I mean, he's just a perfect guy to have off the bench because he can just randomly go off for 18 points on 8 shots. Like, for a shooter off the bench, you'll take that. He also, even though he was driving me crazy last year in that playing game trying to guard Tyler Hero, he has been guarding pretty damn well this season. At least he's showing some fight on that side of the court. But also sticks. Jalen Smith, if he could start knocking down the three-point ball, I mean, he could potentially be a guy that averages 12, 13 points off the bench. He was fantastic yesterday. Hitting the glass hard, had a couple of offensive rebounds. He's got that push shot. He's also just does a good job with Tre Jones, especially with that second unit and Ayo, of just getting in the right spot and finding the open creases in the defense. So I thought Jalen Smith was very good yesterday. And then Nikola Vucevic, the one thing that has impressed me this year with Vuce is his playmaking. because a lot of teams are starting to, blitz Tre Jones, blitz Josh Giddey when they're running those pick and rolls, and then that's just a simple drop off to Nikola Vucevic, and then he's playing 4-on-3, working downhill, and he's been spraying out, either getting a drop off to the other big, or if Buzelis is cutting, he can drop it off to him. So I thought Vuce was, at least his playmaking ability, very, very impressive so far this season. And then, LaVine, listen, stats look great. 30 points. He got his, had a couple of highlight dunks. This is the most meaningless 30-point game I've ever seen in my life. This guy, he just, listen, if I was his teammate playing basketball growing up and I had a guy like this on my team, I would absolutely lose my mind. He plays no defense. He doesn't create for others, and he's just a black hole with the basketball. And DeMar DeRozan, not the same category as Zach LaVine in terms of just, unethical hoops, but DeRozan's just he's just a cooked product at this point. Like, you can't continue to just live in the mid-range in the big year of 2025. So it was just a very aesthetic, it's just a very pleasing watch for Bulls fans yesterday, because you're seeing your old self literally in the Sacramento Kings take on the new version of the Chicago Bulls, and it was just fantastic to watch. So I'll ask you guys this. Are the Bulls officially back? I'm not saying it just yet. I don't think this team can go on a run whatsoever still, but they're young. And it's not like this team, like if the Bulls start off 4-0 and we had Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan on the team, I'd be saying, all right, this is just more of the same. But you got young players. Tre Jones is still young. Matas Buzelis is 20 years old. Josh Giddey, very young player as well. Like, you're doing this with like some very, high upside guys, so it's very promising. So you know what? The Bulls are back. Hopefully that's not my famous last words here. But if you guys could also hit that subscribe button on your way out. We'll keep you guys posted with everything you need to know around your Chicago Bulls. See you guys next time. Go Bulls.